Your favorite fat boys.
Man, what it's like, bitch.
What's up, everybody? It's your favorite fat boy, Jarron.
Stefan, a.k.a. Mayhem, a.k.a. the brand new mutant, a.k.a. my superpower is lackluster comedy.
Don't like him. Don't like him. It's a brand new mutant. And you said, you said the comedian brand new comedy, a lackluster comedy?
I said, no, that's my superpower.
Uh-oh. Lackluster comedy. Okay, so welcome back to the podcast. And today we're going to talk about, we're going to get into a little bit of Drake and Kendrick. Are we going to do it? No.
I will refuse.
You want to tell people what you thought?
We did 2 episodes back to back on that bullshit. That was all I needed to think.
So you don't care who won?
I don't give a shit.
You don't have an opinion of who won and who lost? You just done talking about it.
Absolutely.
All right, we can move on then. I really don't care either. I really don't give a damn. We can talk about rap another day. We talked so much rap. I'm tired of rap. I listened to R&B for the last couple of days. Have you ever heard K Tronada?
No.
I have discovered K Tronada. He's been around for a long time.
Oh, well, goddamn.
I had to go to something new because I get tired of fucking rap. So what was it, last Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays ago? Estimate 97 finished season 1.
Yep, wrapped up.
Great season 1, what you say?
Absolutely phenomenal.
So before we get into the whole season, overall, so different peaks and valleys of the season 1, would you compare it to the first season of Invincible or the second season of Invincible?
If I had to make a comparison, I would say it was closer to the second season of Invincible because of how the disparate tales were.
Okay.
But with a better focus on the main story.
Okay.
But it was definitely, a lot of things felt disjointed from episode to episode, which is kind of the same way as Invincible season 2 was.
Okay. Yeah, because I felt like, I thought it was a very good, overall great season. I felt like it was hard for me to kind of compare it. Like, I didn't know which one to compare it to. Season 1, because I thought season 1 was really good. It had maybe like 1 or 2 down episodes maybe for Invincible. I felt like in Invincible season 2, I think that 2-month hiatus,
in between,
it definitely had an impact on it. Even though like it did carry the weight from season 1 through the whole season, but I don't know. I felt like that season 2 was kind of flat towards the end anyway.
Yeah, I think, at least from my opinion, is that it lacked the overall focus that season 1 had, where season 1 had both the mystery of why did Nolan kill the Guardians, what's going on with Invincible, and then it had that overarching story plot, whereas season 2, the episodes just kind of felt disparate from one another.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So, but X-Men was like the best thing that came out in a long time. I thought, one of the best things that came out this year, and they is naming it over. So,
yeah, I mean, as far as superhero and cartoon properties go, it definitely was.
So you have let's see. Let's break down the episodes. So the first episode was good. Cyclops showed his ass.
Oh yeah,
we talked about that.
Yeah.
So then episode 3 was Goblin Queen. I thought it was a good episode.
Thought it was a little rushed. They could have definitely. Granted, they didn't have a lot of episodes too, but they could have expanded that over more than just one episode.
I thought so too.
Just kind of resolved real quick.
Yeah, and I guess it made sense because you saw Madeline Pryor in episode 5. I guess it was definitely a reason why she didn't have more episodes because of what happened in episode 5. What was episode 4? That's when. That was like Love is Blind.
I think that was the Storm Focus.
Yeah, Storm Focus. So that was okay because it was a break from all the heavy action for the first 3 episodes. Yeah. But episode 5. God damn it! God damn it! I ain't never opening my Gabby toy now.
Destruction of Genosha.
And what is in the title of this episode was Remember It. I like something about to happen to Gambit. something going to happen again because that's his calling card.
Yep.
No pun intended, but that's his, what he says in a lot of times.
My name is Remy LeBeau. The name's Gambit. Remember it.
And boy, do we remember it in memory now.
Oh yeah, in memoriam.
So what were your thoughts about that episode?
Oh, I mean, it was absolutely phenomenal. And then they had Gambit go out hard as fuck.
I had watched the episode a couple times just because it was like it was like a lot of little things going on that I didn't catch the first time. Like when I thought people were alive, they actually were dead. Like they had like Sebastian Shaw and Callisto lined up. I knew Callisto was dead because when you saw her eyes was kind of just out there. But I'm like, what about Sebastian? Like he ain't absorbed none of that.
He absorbed that ass whooping.
Right, because they killed off fucking Mayoral and Banshee.
Yeah, they said most of the Morlocks gone. A lot of people who would potentially be in like X Factor gone.
Yeah, because like Multiple Man, he was over there. I know he gone.
Yep.
Who else? Because they had a lot of different mutants that they showed throughout the a lot of cameos. Who was the girl that went through Exodus? What is she? Who is she?
Blink.
That was Blink?
I think
it's a black girl with this yellow headband.
Oh, I had to look at it again.
Okay.
I don't recall. I'm not recalling.
I know Blink was in that. She was definitely in the episode, yeah. But then Nightcrawler was there. Nightcrawler looked beautiful with the animation. Yeah, that was tough because especially the last scene of that. She like, I can't feel you. I was like, oh, they gonna pay for Remy. So it was a tough episode though. And then 6 was another Storm Focus episode, right?
Yeah.
Because that's when she got her powers back and everything. I don't appreciate they giving her her that uniform. Yeah. I was still digging her with the mohawk.
Yeah, yeah.
I still want the mohawk for the rest of the season.
Right, yeah. I wanted the Age of Apocalypse mohawk too. But they gave her old. I think, and the funny thing about it is because by the end of it, mostly everybody was wearing their costume from the X-Men arcade game.
I do not Executioner. I know we stepping back a little bit, but I do not appreciate episode 2. Executioner handing the X-Men their ass in that one scene. He flipped over. He Matrix flipped over a fucking Bishop. I was mad about that. It was slick, but I was mad about it. And they kept two-piecing up Cyclops. And Cyclops they had to let slide on niggas and shit.
I mean, that was the whole point of him, was just to show him hit the technology. He just had the edge over the X-Men.
All right, the episode 7 was, because 8, 9, and 10. Okay, yes. Yeah, so episode 7 was Bright Eyes, where Storm went the fuck off. And tossed Captain America's shield into the mountain.
Rogue.
Rogue, yeah. So, what'd I say?
Storm.
I was definitely thinking my head Rogue.
Rogue went rogue.
Yeah. So Rogue was she was handling business in that episode. And then he found out that it was the Sentinel Primes were going online pretty much.
Yeah.
So what were you thinking about that episode?
Again, I thought it was a very good episode, and it had a couple of twists and turns, and the fact was because I wasn't expecting them to bring the Nimrod situation this early on, because I thought they would just pretty much lead into Apocalypse, which they kind of, we get to that, kind of end up going there. But yeah, so them just throwing in the Nimrod baby, what the fuck is his name? It's not Sebastian. Is it Sebastian?
It's Bastion.
Bastion, yeah, just okay. Bastion. Which I believe is short for Sebastian.
It is.
But yeah, it was definitely a good episode, and just Rogue just being fucking emotional and having that kind of power to be as emotional as she was. Like, she's like, all right, I'm ready to break shit.
Mm-hmm. Anime kick the tank.
Right. So there, a lot of that was straight out of anime. Them camera angles and the movements are straight out of anime.
Right. It was tough though, especially when like that scene where she broke into the Hulk base and Thunderbolt Ross was like, no swamp country girl gonna bring it to the Hulk base. Boom, boom, boom. So that's one thing I loved about this season was like all the different cameos, because they had like a lot of them in the 95 original run. Yeah, because
because they had all of those cartoons running at the same time, and they always had like little interminglings between them, like having Wolverine on Spider-Man cartoon and having some of the Avengers in the X-Men show.
Yeah, so That was a tough episode. Then we get to the last three. We get what's his tolerance, extinction for tolerance.
Tolerance equals extinction.
Yeah. This was a good ass. This could have been a 90-minute movie. I'd have been. It could have been tough.
Absolutely.
So, what are your thoughts about the last three episodes?
I mean, beautifully animated, beautifully set up to go into another season, and just the action was balls to the wall.
It definitely left me wanting more. Like I wanted the next episode right then and there, because that first one was when they went to Bastion's mother's house, and then the news reporter turned Prime Sentinel, and then in the mansion. But then they wasted a cameo right there and there with Juggernaut. Like Juggernaut should have power drive that woman or something. Like he just gave her hell, but she just flipped him on over. But then we got Nightcrawler, so I'm okay with that because there's a good trade off.
Right, and then
Nightcrawler with 3 swords.
Right, and you got Wolverine actually getting to go off
in midair.
Right,
like when he spun around with slicing the Prime Sentinels, I was like, who thought of that? Who thought of that? In
the goddamn summer family outing. Saying, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Cable. That shit was fucking hard.
That was tough.
So ridiculous, and I was so mad about the fact that they did after they jumped out the car and the car blows up. They did the superhero pose while the goddamn car blowed up in the background.
That's something else Beast got to worry about. Because somebody else got to pay for that damn Porsche. Their budget though got to be ridiculous. They mouth the home, redo the jet.
Yeah, we don't know what kind of money Professor X is bringing in.
He's stealing all. He's embezzling like motherfucker.
Got to be Bernie Madoff.
They gotta do a side story of him doing like a pyramid scheme or something.
Right, he is psychic.
Right,
he is psychic.
Right, this don't add up. Xavier, that's your real name. Charles. So then the second episode is when they went to Asteroid M.
Yeah.
First of all, Magneto wasn't playing around with y'all. He got tired of y'all shit. He wanted y'all episode 2. When he came over there in his underwear on top of the Arctic Circle, the North Pole, and said enough and shut shit down. Y'all should have left that man alone. Y'all really should have left that man alone.
Declaring war on the world. So,
and then they go there. They try to go hand in hand with Magneto. Wolverine was already set. He was set to kill. He wasn't leaving nothing behind. That was a tough episode from the animation with Jean Grey and Mr. Sinister.
Yeah,
that was tough. I was like, whoo! She was getting with his ass, and then they tapped into Cable's raw his raw telekinetic power and everything.
Yeah,
that was also nice. And then the Hulk cameo with Morph, that was tough. And then you got let's see, you got of course the highlight of the episode I think was with Wolverine's adamantium being pulled.
Yeah,
which is a scene straight from the comics. Yep. So
the adamantium being ripped straight out of his body.
What was your thoughts when you saw that on screen?
One, I did not assume that they were going to go there, but they did, and I was all the happier for it because that was a really big thing in the comics when his adamantium got ripped out, and I did not expect them to do that in this show, and they did.
Yeah, because I watched like a couple of months before I think the X-Men 97 cartoon came out. They were talking about the Fatal Attraction, I guess that arc when that happened, and they were and the writers were talking amongst themselves like, what could we do that would just be over the top? And one of the writers said, "Rip his adamantium out," and everybody got quiet in the room. They looked at each other like, "Yeah." So that's definitely a big moment from the comics, but that was just tough to see. And the last episode, so pretty much, so Wolverine's out, obviously. They give one final stop to Magneto. Well, they have pretty much stopped him and everything, but then it's like, they're trying to put him down. Well, as they were trying to put him down without like compromising himself in the twist of it as well. So, but I think it was a very good last episode to tie everything up together for the last season. Where was Bishop at?
Oh yeah, just randomly came back from the future.
A future or the future?
A future.
A future. Okay. Oh, but Rogue was going off in the episode again too. When she did that thunderclap in that man face.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, she just stole Hawk's move.
And then we got. Did you notice that we got Second Coming, Bastion?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was tough to see. First of all, he was disrespectful. He needed to go. I don't know where he went, but he needed to go. Every time he takes my arm off and beat them with it, I was upset. I was so upset. He swatted that man 3 times with his own arm and then absorbed it.
Yeah, that last episode was just too goddamn tough.
So what are your thoughts on what it could go into for next season? Matter of fact, before we go jump on that, what's your thoughts about the wall that Forge had?
Well, I mean, it was more of a throwback to X-Men Days of Future Past.
Right, yeah.
Because more so than it was, the actual X-Men Days of Future Past. But, so I get it. So they had the nice little comic book throwback, and I was like, okay, Easter egg.
Right. So when I saw it, I was like, ooh. But then when I was reading what it was, I'm like, where the fuck is... Okay, where's Jubilee? Where's Sunspot? Where's Cable? And Off-World was for Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, right?
Yeah.
Off-World where? That's why I need answers to this now.
Again, it's more Easter egg than anything.
Okay.
Because, again, when Professor X was trying to get Magneto back his memories after, he kind of stripped him of it with Asteroid M falling, they showed Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Polaris, which are Magneto's children, vaguely in his memory. So, yeah, more throwback Easter egg than the actual telling of what's going to happen.
Right, okay. So then we get to the end of the episode where we have some S-Men are in Egypt and like 3,000 BC, something like that. And then we got Jean Grey and Cyclops that we know of in the future.
Yep.
And they are with with young Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, I need a second episode by the end of this season. This end of this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
I know. I think they just wrapped it like voicing for some of the storylines so far.
Yeah.
Of season 2. So, but we gonna get it though. Because I don't think have they come up with like an official announcement, or they just like? Because I've been seeing this little leaks here and there.
No, they haven't officially announced
okay.
when the next one's gonna be. But they did say it was gonna be a while because again, animation takes time.
And that animation was tight.
Yeah,
especially given what they were doing. Like this was definitely not 95.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
I said because by the time X-Men, ended in 97, they had pretty much stripped them all of their budget. So there was pretty much no action and very minimal movement.
It was storytelling at best.
Right, and very minimal movement between the characters. So yeah, they put their foot in this animation. So it only makes sense that it's gonna take time for them to come back with the next season.
All right, so what did you think about the cameos? And I got 2 questions for you. The cameos. And what do you expect from next season? So the cameos that I was surprised by was seeing Daredevil, Cloak and Dagger, Iron Man was tough. What were your thoughts about seeing them cameos in the last episode?
Again, I mean,
because Daredevil was in Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Did he float to anybody else?
I don't believe he was in anybody else's show. He was just in Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was more so them just expanding the show. Yeah, that these X-Men characters still exist in the broader, larger Marvel universe. So yeah, them having the throwaway cameos just to show that they still exist in this larger universe, which is how that's supposed to be because they all exist in the same universe.
Yeah. When I saw not Spider-Man, when I saw Iron Man, I was like, oh boy, from the 96, 95, 96, the cartoon, whatever it was, that was tough. They showed Mr. Fantastic, but that morphed had transformed it to him. Yeah, but it was still a nice little callback.
Yeah, and actually, even with the cameos, like with the Spider-Man and whatnot, they were talking that there's a strong possibility that they might continue the old Spider-Man.
Because I think I think we talked about that. It's been talked about by them doing like Spider-Man 98. But how do you feel when you see this cameo of Peter Parker and Mary Jane together? Does that make you think that they kind of like Peter Parker got his happy ending in a sense, or this was just like an Easter egg?
I mean, it could be a little bit of both because it was that same one from that old cartoon,
right?
So it could be a bit of both.
Okay. But that Spider-Man looked good in that universe though. When we did that flip and everything.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine if they used if this same studio did the animation for that show, it would look tough.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So what do you want to see for next season?
I mean, they've already set up what I expected them to do from the first couple of episodes of this season. Set up Age of Apocalypse. I love the Age of Apocalypse storyline. So if they go in that route, which it looks like that's what they're doing, I'm all for it.
Okay. One thing that I'm looking forward to, I need an episode where they showed me what they did, what they've been going for the past 6 months, and somehow, because I want to see the Avengers, I want to see Fantastic Four. I want to see some kind of collaboration where they have I don't care, they have no action. I want them to talk about that, what has transpired in these last 6 months without the X-Men being around. That's what I would want. No? Maybe so?
It's an X-Men cartoon. We don't need them.
I want it. I want that. So, but overall, I was very pleased with the whole season. I can't wait for season 2. Hopefully, I mean, I'm expecting it's going to be sometime in 2025, probably around the same time, like it was this year, in the spring.
Yeah, it could be in spring or summer next year.
Yeah, because I know the Marvel likes to announce their stuff like D3 Expo and all that kind of stuff. So
the Disney Expo.
So, but good job, Marvel. Good job.
Yep. Yeah. You stroked my nostalgia button and then said, we got to do some real bad things, baby.
Bring back Gambit. So, but you think so you're expecting Gambit to return with the Age of Apocalypse?
In some form. In some form.
Yeah. So, all right. So, off of X-Men. So, what's been going on with you lately?
Same thing. I answer this question every time you ask.
Which is?
None much.
Well, I've been doing some stuff, and you've been tagging along with me.
I know.
What you saying like that for?
Because I've been tagging along with you.
You are my unofficial manager. So get used to tagging along. So for those who have been following me and came to the showcase a couple weeks ago, I've recently been getting my feet wet at doing stand-up comedy. So let's see how we get here. It's something I want to do for a long time. I pitched this back to stuff on late 2018, 2019 sometime. Yeah. And we didn't get very far because I didn't know what I was doing. That's probably something up, right?
A bit.
Yeah. So, and reflecting back on that time, so I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I didn't know how to go about it. We went to a couple comedy shows. They were free and stuff. I don't want to go none he got paid for it.
Absolutely not.
And he don't want to pay for it either, so appreciate that. And just kind of get a feel of I guess how to go about this in a sense. It's so we went to a couple, never went to open mic, and then we started to put jokes together, but what I think was ultimately would not work in that space was I was relying too much on you to come up with to kind of formulate the joke instead of me formulating from my point of view. And that wouldn't have been, it probably would have worked, but it wouldn't have worked at the same time because this is your voice, not mine.
Right.
So I went to Baltimore improv group. They had a show there. I saw some improv being done. I was like, oh, okay. I'd like to try this. I went to their website and I found that they actually do stand-up, like a stand-up class as well. So I was like, oh, okay. This is what I've been looking for. So let me try my hand at this. So that's something that I paid for and it's worth it for me. So for 7 weeks, we learned how to stage presence, how to write jokes, how to tweak them, punch it up, things like that. And the showcase was on Mother's Day. So before that, me and Stefan started going over mics and it's like, all right, we just want to, record me and then I can look at it and then tweak it from there and we'll punch it up and work on my set and everything. And I feel as though I did really well. We had highs and lows with open mics. As I would have too, and I forget shit and be looking like a dead headlights.
Yep.
So, and then by the third time I did it, I was getting the hang of it. Then by the fourth time, it was like, okay, cool. And then I had a showcase and I did really well. I think I was a standout amongst my peers and then within the audience as well. They gave me good feedback. I'm not trying to pump up my ego, my head and everything. Someone says I can't. He said I can't talk about myself just yet. So.
Right. See, you ain't at that point where you're good enough to say you the big bad comedian.
Right. I can't flex my chest yet. I'm just going to tell these little jokes here and there. Trying to get my name out there a little bit. Not even get my name out. I'm just making my presence known.
Right.
I'm in these streets. So, and I'll say it again. I said to you at the performance, I'll say it again. Thank you for, just helping me along, getting this far to it. Cause you just put everything in perspective when we were like putting my set together and everything. Yeah. And just like, making that flow. And that's one thing that I got a lot of comments on, like it just flowed together so well. And I'm not going to take credit for that. You helped me with that. So thank you again.
Not a problem. It's what I do.
Yeah. So that's why he's manager. So, so that's pretty much my plan for the summer is just to go to open mics and see if I can get on maybe a show here and there, maybe see how that goes and everything, continue to work on different jokes, punch up what I have and everything like that. Thank you to everybody that came as well. Sharina, Rico, Shamita, even though she's the butt of my jokes. She wasn't really the butt of my jokes. She's
the butt of one joke.
She's the butt of one joke. You all right. You look and say what I wanted to say. Lisa, my parents came out. Stefan, of course. I've invited other people too, but by being Mother's Day, it was just a weird day. So I figured people had plans, stuff like that. So right. It was cool. So yeah. So if I go to open mic and there's a decent crowd, that's the only thing with open mics. Like it's always I don't never anticipate now there's gonna be a large crowd, but at the same time, it's best to go on like maybe like in the middle or like early on instead of the last mob town. Because it seemed like the crowd was getting like it was in small rooms too, so it was packed in the beginning. People kind of left and was coming and going. There's people in the back at the bar and everything. So, but it just what was it? Paying your dues in a sense. So we'll see how far this goes. I'm gonna do my best. One thing also hindered this process too was just me being sick, and then of course COVID happened, so you really couldn't go out like that, and there was no point of me being sick out in these spaces, and I don't know if they was even doing these shows like that back then. Probably weren't.
Yeah, more than likely no.
So that wasn't on my radar because like I was coughing a lot and throwing up a lot, so I couldn't be in the middle of a set and just start coughing because that would just take a lot of take the wind out of my sail. So, but now that I'm feeling better, and I want to pursue this, for the as hard as not as hard to the best of my ability. So get ready. Because we going to DC.
He says going to DC because I said that's as far as I'm willing to go for him to do these open mics and me to be there. He can go wherever he wants.
I ain't going without you.
But if you want me there, DC is about as far south as I'm going.
I don't want to drive in DC. I want him to drive.
Exactly.
I'll pay for the gas. When you got gas, I'll pay for the juice. I'll pay for the juice. Let them shit that you gonna burn. I'll pay for it. And I'll feed you too. You eat whatever we at, you can get it to go. So, but I think it's gonna be a fun experience, and I look forward to where it takes me. So, hope we get paid from doing this though. At some point, it won't be no time soon, probably.
Probably not, but that's always the goal is to do these things and get paid.
Yeah,
so I always love doing a show and getting paid for it at the end of it.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been following some pages here that's in like that people producing in Baltimore and like different shows and things like that, and it's like my instructor, he was saying that you just talk to producers and see where you can fit in that in a sense. So it's a game of playing nice, being buddies, not being an asshole to people and things like that. So, which I'm not anymore. I don't think in my old age now, but I get it. It's a politics type of thing. Because like the people the other night when we was at the open mic, those people that were there were friends of the host. Yeah. So it was just cool. I get it. You want to be invited.
I don't.
You don't get it. You won't be invited.
Neither.
You should be in the house. So, but I get it, because like when we went to the Wits End Saloon and the host was like calling, checking to see how far his friends were, because like he wanted like I don't necessarily what he wanted to fill the room, but he wanted to have other comedians there because I was the only one there. So at that point in time, he was bringing people from Magoobies over. So maybe I'll get into a contest this year. I don't know. We'll see how we formulate my set from 5 minutes to 10. Right now, I could probably give you a good 10. If we tweak everything and work it together. I don't know about 15 and 20, but that's pushing it.
Nah, you ain't there. Nah.
So the goal this year is to work on the 5. Because when I performed, I had a little over 8 minutes. That was like all my jokes that we worked on. So I've been recording some jokes. I've been writing stuff down. So we might have a good 10 to 15 there. So I think that the goal is to get, to do the 5 to 8, work on them from the 10 to 12 or 12 to 15.
Right. Yeah.
So
Having a solid 15.
Right, yeah. So we gonna get them. Be the funniest nigga out in these streets.
I mean, there's a lofty aspiration. I'm not going to be the one to shoot your dreams down.
But you of course told me something that stuck in my head was, don't think you're the funniest person, show you the funniest person.
Yeah.
And that's all I can do. I can only show you, because thinking ain't gonna get you shit.
Not at all.
Right, because if I'm saying I'm funnier than this comedian here who's put in time and working to his set, me saying that all it does make me look like a hater.
Exactly. I know I'm funnier than him.
Prove it. So that's the thing. Stephon says these little gems that he probably don't want to say, but he says it and he says to me like he was talking about the podcast. Like it's only going as far as you take it. I ain't doing nothing else. I'm not gonna be supportive of it. I support you if you're doing the work, but if you're not motivated, I'm the wrong nigga. Say they with this. Don't say you're the funniest. Prove it. That means I gotta come along.
At least you understand the assignment.
I understand the assignment. So, all right, wrapping this up. So Baltimore City re-elected Mayor Brandon Scott. Yay! No Sheila Dixon. Thank goodness. Don't know why y'all voted for her in the first place.
We talked about this beforehand. I was like, I don't even understand how she was doing so well in the initial polls, because why would you put her back in the position she was fired from for being corrupt?
That's like robbing. That's like hiring the bank robber at the bank.
Right? It's like, I remember you vaguely being here before. You sure do.
I'm using that myself. So yeah, and then they had this random ass Bob. Was it Bob or Ben? Bob Wallace.
Yeah, I think it's Bob Wallace.
Yeah, I'm big. Ben Wallace, the basketball player. Yeah, fucking Bob Wallace and shit like that. Which I found interesting was not his campaign, but who supported him was all the Baltimore influencers on social media was supporting him. And not to say that he'd have a good campaign to support in a sense.
I'm pretty sure he paid.
Of course. But it was just like, instead of supporting Brandon Scott or maybe Sheila Dixon, y'all chose the random third person. So, but I ain't voting for Sheila Dixon because she don't know how to dodge clothes being thrown in her face while I forgot that's an interview. You can't be mayor of the city and possibly corrupted again or steal from it again, and you can't dodge clothes being thrown at you.
Hey, she liked fur coats. She was trying to catch that.
The fur coats and the gift cards she can catch all day, but she can't dodge something being thrown at her during the interview. So, Brandon Scott's reelected. I think he's done a decent job so far. Given what he had to go through, I think he did a decent job. So we'll see if he gets better or not. But there's no scandal so far.
Yeah, it's so sad that's the bar.
The bar's in hell.
That is so sad that's the bar. No scandal as mayor of Baltimore.
Right. He had a baby recently. I know it's a boy or girl, but as far as I know, she's not tied to another nigga. As far as I know,
it wasn't somebody's wife.
You feel me?
He said the bar is so low for Baltimore.
So there's that. And lastly, they have this new initiative they're doing with swimming in the harbor. How you feel about that? So it's a grassroots organization that's been cleaning the harbor, I think, for like a year and a half or something like that, so that people can go swim in it. Why you niggas want to swim in it? I don't know. Would you?
I've been to some nasty ass beaches and I got in the water, so probably. I don't know no better.
Would you? I mean, you ain't come back with no extra foot, no finger, no hand, no eye.
Hey, if I could be the next mutant, I'd do that. That's all I'm saying. I've been to some questionable beaches and I got in the water. So if they done a pretty good job of cleaning out all of the debris and detritus out of the harbor, then maybe detritus. That's your vocabulary word for the day. Look it up after we done.
Okay, because I'm just like, I'm not getting in that water. I used to work downtown on the boat, Lady of Baltimore, as a bartender, and the busiest time of year was always the summertime. Of course, when it's nice out in the spring, in the fall. And on a hot day, random people would jump in the harbor and get arrested for it. So I'm not surprised by it. I'm surprised they jumped in the harbor, but like them doing this, I'm not surprised by it at all. But I would not participate in one because I have a character, because I'm on dialysis, and I don't need no infection. Because you get an infection, it throws you off the list of the transplant list. So I don't need that. And then if they say, well, how you get an infection? And I say I jump in the harbor, I ain't ever get on the list again.
Oh yeah. He reckless.
Right. So I don't need that in my life. All right, wrap things up. We're not jumping in the harbor. So make sure you like, share.
You're not jumping in the harbor.
You might.
I might.
Nasty nigga. He really want them meat powers.
I don't know no better.
Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and let us know you jump in the harbor not this summer. So, take us out.
All right, that's the show. And as always, you can check us out on YouTube, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Peace out.
Peace out.